Welcome to Big Brother NSFW, everybody. This season may have felt like we've been eating nothing but slop for 60 days. But here tonight, we're going to transport you back in time. We're going to take you back to when players were likable, back when people had fun, back when the power would shift around regularly. Put on your aluminum foil hats, lightning striking on Big Brother NSFW. We have the Big Brother 1 and All-Stars OG, the Chicken Man, Chicken George. Oh my gosh. Chicken George, how are you doing?
Tonight, I am here. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me tonight. I'm looking forward to this, okay?
Chicken George.
I do love the aluminum foil. It reminds me of my old days.
I had to do it.
I love it. I love it. Chicken George, I have to say
that is good.
There is survivor royalty, and I don't know if I'm a part of that, but I do know this. In the world of Big Brother, there is Big Brother royalty, and you're at the top of my list. You are my favorite Big Brother player of all time, and I think that my list looks a lot similar to a lot of other people's lists. So thank you so much, Chicken George.
Hey, I appreciate that. It's been all good. Big Brother's been okay. In the end, hey, it worked out pretty damn good for me. I got to tell you. You know, I kind of led what I do today, and I'm like, this is all good. You know, I'm cool.
The crazy thing is, like so many people are like, oh my God, I miss Chicken George. I wish he was on my TV every week. And you kind of are. Like you just if you're on the right, what is NBC Sports?
Yeah, we're on NBC Sports. Yes. Yeah. And I'm the sold guy with Mecum Classic Car Auctions.
That's insane. I don't understand how more people haven't randomly hit me. They're just like, did you know that Chicken George is on NBC Sports like all the time? Like how insane? what world are we living in that we are graced with Chicken George on the regular and it's a secret?
So Chicken George, how did you get into being the sold guy?
Okay, here's what ended up happening. Of course, I did all this other stuff. I worked Las Vegas, worked Tropicana, and everything else like this. I had to go back home, because I was gone for a long period of time. So I've always done auctions, cars, stuff like this. And it was just a fluke. One lady at one of our car auctions here in our community, she got breast cancer. Well, they need somebody to fill in for one day. That was all it was just a one-shot deal to help out till this lady got back. Okay. So I go in there because I knew cars and I knew auctions and stuff like this. So I just filled in for them. She ended up coming back, which was fantastic. But I asked the guy, the lead auctioneer there at the auction, I go, hey, if you bump into anything, let me know. We knew I knew television. And at the time, Mecum was just kind of dabbling in the television field. Okay, they were just started. We were like back on Velocity Station, stuff like that there. Okay, we were just kind of getting our feet wet but they knew I knew television. So they asked me to come and help them. Okay, and then slowly but surely, one auction led to another auction. Hey, I love the pretty kid. Another auction, where you actually, you get to work on a full-time basis with a crew of people. But that's how it all played. And that was a total fluke, like basically everything I've ever done. Nothing is rehearsed, nothing is planned. It's like, all right, dude. I remember they asked me, you ever done this? I kind of know, but I'm probably going to do it, and I need money. So
is that how Big Brother 1 happened as well? Like, I know the story of how you got onto Big Brother 1, the original.
Okay, trust me, okay? My daughter see this ad in the newspaper. It was like about that big, okay? This little ad. They were looking for like people to do the show where you're locked up. My daughter said, hey, you should try doing this, okay? I go, man, they ain't gonna want me, I'm just I'm a roofer guy, a hot tire roofer person. What are you gonna do with me? So anyway, she printed the application because I can't do nothing on the computer and I still can't, but whatever. So I filled it out with a bunch of weird answers. Like they ask you, like, who's your hero? And I put down like Beavis and Butthead. your favorite TV shows was like Eliminate. And I just put out all these weird answers, man. I love that show, okay? It's on like 11 o'clock at night and you would watch it. So, I really didn't care. So, but you had to make a tape up back then, but I didn't have no cameras. So remember the giant, huge cameras that were about that big? I borrowed it from my sister-in-law, and you had to make a tape up. And I just made some stupid tape up in my backyard in my house, okay? That's all I did. So I set it on top of the refrigerator, and I go, well, this was fun. We made it, had a few laughs, made a tape up, set it on top of my refrigerator, okay? So anyway, it's going down to the end, and my daughter's, hey, Dad, what'd you ever do with that tape and that application? I go, well, it's on top of the refrigerator. I go, why bother with any of the rest of it, She goes, well, you got to.
That was enough.
Yeah, you got to get to California by tomorrow or they don't want it. And I go, they don't want me. She goes, go down to the post office. So I went down to the post office to go in there. Keep in mind, they close at 5. This is like 4:30, okay? So I go up to the lady. I knew her. And she goes, yeah, George, it's going to cost you like $16 to mail this thing to California overnight. I go, man. I go, that's like my beer and pizza money for Friday night. I go, forget this, man. I'm not mailing this damn thing. I actually walked out of the post office. Was at the door, and then I thought about it. I go, you know how many $16 stuff I have blown in my life that just didn't make any difference whatsoever? This is probably one of them. I went back to the lady. I gave her the $16, and the rest is history. But there was $16 from me being on that show, and that until then. But then, they waited a while. Then they called me. They call you. Back then, it was just strictly landlines. Okay. And so I thought somebody was jacking with me, man. Hey, this is CBS Studios, Los Angeles, California. Yeah, right. Okay. So they go, yeah, but this is serious. So we want you to be in Chicago. Okay. Keep in mind, I'm 70 miles. I go, hey, man, cool. I'll go to Chicago for a day. Go downtown, have some of the pizza, whatever have you. So I'm in
$16. You might as well.
Throw in another 10 for gas, okay? So I go into Chicago. I go to CBS Studios, you see all the frame people on the wall, famous people, the weatherman guy, Norian Sandwich, all these other cats, okay? So I go in there, and then the first thing they tell you is, whatever you do, don't talk to anybody. Because you're in a room with all these people. And I was like, I really don't give a damn. I don't care. So I started, hey, how you doing today? How are you? Hey, what's happening, bro? And I don't even say anything, And I'm like, man, these people take it way too seriously. So then they take you in these little groups, and then you play like games, and then you answer these questions. And I was like, okay, well, this is cool. And they just let it go at that. That was it. And they go, it's like the entertainment business. We may call you, but that's how we're not. Okay. And I was like, okay, cool. I went to Chicago today, had pizza, had my big deep dish pizza, had a few drinks, went back home. Okay. 2 weeks later, I go, they're not going to call me. 2 weeks later, they call me up. We need you in California. This was on a Monday morning. Okay. Well, keep in mind, in my job, I did commercial roofing. We had this roof tore off at this factory. I can't be in California. And I thought my wife, Teresa, was just jacking with me. Like playing around. I was like, no. So she started crying. I go, oh, this is legit. And keep in mind, I've never even been on an airplane. All right. So, I go. We kind of got the roof where it'd be okay while I would be gone for a couple days. Okay. And I went to California. And it was a cool thing, man. I get off the airplane, man, and I get down there, and there's this limousine driver with my name on there. I was like, whoa. And I go, hey, man, you get in my car. So he puts me in the back. I go, dude, I'm not riding in the back of your car by myself. So I sit up front with the limo driver. So me and him go downtown, put me up in some motel somewhere. I don't even know what it is. And then the producers call, hey, George, we're glad you made it, everything else like that. They're tomorrow you're going to go to the hospital. Whoa, okay. So they take me into the hospital, okay? They give you a psychological exam. I go, well, this ain't going so well.
Fun while it lasted.
You all these, yeah, I go, this ain't going good. and you know, keep in mind, there's like 50 people in this room, you know, and then they ask you all these questions like, have you ever run over a cat? And I was just super dumb, but whatever, you know. And then they actually took me to the hospital. I was like, oh, man, get me a physical, you know, because I haven't been to the doctor, the physical. And they go, okay, dude, you're in pretty good shape. I go, wow, this is cool. So they take you, go to dinner. The next day, you actually go into the CBS studio down there on Radcliffe, okay? So then they put you in this room. And there's like, back then, there was like 10 people in this room. So then that was when Leslie Moonves was actually part of. He actually did it. Okay,
yeah,
there was no.
When I did Survivor, he was center of the room.
Yeah, he was cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Went on ahead. They started asking you all these questions, and I go, you know, yeah, it's, what you see is it's kind of what you get here, and everything else like that. And they go, okay, we'll see you later. Back to the limousine driver, I go off to the airport.
Did you ride in the back this time?
No, I rode up wrong with the guy, man. Yeah, I did. Except when I wanted a beer, they had beer in the back. I grabbed one of them, but whatever. So I go on ahead, and I go, well, this is cool. I got to go to California. First time I'd ever seen California. Got to eat some good food, stayed in a real nice motel. And I got to see CBS. I mean, I got to see where Gilligan's Island was made and everything else. That, you know, it was all good.
Okay.
So, that's it. I'm done. So another week later, they go, hey, dude, you're going to go do this. I was like, whoa. So rest is, I went and I did it. Yeah. And that's my story. But keep in mind, guys, everything was a fluke. It was just all a fluke. Nothing was ever taken seriously. Okay. And that day when I met with like Leslie and all the producers, I had my world famous Beavis and Butthead t-shirt on. It was like, you know, shorts. I had ratty tennis shoes on, you know, and it was what I had. And the rest is, that's how it ended up for me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it was
I cast in a heartbeat.
And
I mean, like, you're an everyman.
Yeah.
But also a huge character. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like if I'm trying to get the cross section, I'm grabbing the everyman. But not only are you the everyman, you bring all this extra. Like, I mean, you know, you're so fun loving. You're hilarious. There's a genuineness to you. There's all these attributes that you add to that everyman character. Like first ballot cast, no problem. Like it's just like this guy's on my television show. If I'm doing a show called Big Brother. So.
But, you know, you keep in mind back then, nobody really knew what Big Brother was even.
Yeah.
You know, it was this new thing that we're going to try and do. I had no idea what I was even doing. I mean, I went on.
Neither did they.
Diary room. Yeah, I went in the diary room, was telling people to vote me off because I to vote for me because I thought you had to vote for me to stay in the house. I didn't even know how to play the game. I had everything backwards, you know, because I didn't know, because I'd never done any research on Big Brother or anything. Yeah. But yeah, that's how it all played out for me.
So that had to be such a shock after playing BB1 to come back for BB All-Stars. I assume you've been watching Big Brother this whole time. What was it like to try to prepare to go from playing the original Big Brother to the All-Star variant?
Nah, just packed an extra pair of underwear. That was about it.
this seems a little harder. I might need a second pair of underwear. Is the only.
Yeah, I can just imagine Julie interviewing George, before the season, and so how are you going to play differently? It's like, well, I brought another pair of underwear.
Yeah.
No, George, I sat today and I watched your veto in Big Brother 7. I forgot the name of the game, but the one where you shaved your head, dye yourself blue, set your clothes on fire, and it was just so much fun. I was just like grinning from ear to ear, and I realized that's what I feel like we have been missing this season.
Absolutely,
is that sense of fun, right? Because you were having fun, so we were having fun.
Yeah. And it's not like, it's just like, hey, you can say, sure, George had fun on his first one, but we're on Big Brother All Stars 2, it's all business. Well, no, we saw Chicken George on Big Brother All Stars 1, and the fun never stopped. So there is a possibility to play against some of the better players in the history of the show and still have fun in the house.
Absolutely. And what you just said about the entertainment factor, that has lacked so much this year.
Yeah.
It's strictly gameplay, but that gets old after a while. There's got to be more to a show than just that, especially because the show is so long.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're leaving out they're not leaving out the fun. They're just not having fun. I think the people that they chose to play this game saw it as a job. There was tunnel vision, and they went in and clicked in their time card, and they're like, all right, I'm at work. And and some people don't have fun at work. And we watch 16 people not have fun at work.
and you want to know what? I think you're absolutely. I think maybe they were just so focused on this money deal. Okay, we're just gonna focus on the money, because you hear them constantly. They're talking about the money quite often. Where on my show, especially when I did the All Stars or in Big Brother #1, money was very, very seldom ever talked about. As a matter of fact, on Big Brother 1, it was never talked about. Okay. On All Stars, maybe a little bit, but not that much. It wasn't. You want to know what? It was about the money, but it wasn't about the money.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the best way. Mike Boogie won it, but he didn't really win it for the money, you guys. He did it for the competition, that factor. Okay, because back then he didn't need the money.
Yeah.
It's nice to have $300,000 dropped in your pocket after that, after taxes. But he really didn't do it for the money. He did it because he was a competitive and he wanted to do it. And that's what I think now.
At that point, he was an investor in the Dolce group. So they had Dolce and Geisha House, and I think Bella, and then they'd opened up Big Wang. I mean, they were living the high life. So the Dolce group was Mike Boogie, Dr. Will, Wilder Valderrama, Danny Masterson. All those guys went in as a conglomerate and killed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, financially, they were running Los Angeles, which is insane.
Yes, they were.
Have a bunch of reality stars and lower tier actors running Los Angeles. Whereas right at that same time, they started this thing called Reality Central, where they were just like, hey, you see what those guys did? We're doing this thing. We're going to start this reality channel. And Ethan went in big, and Brennan Swain, one of the gay lawyers that won the first season of The Amazing Race, all these guys, they invested in that, and and fast forward to 6 months later, they're just like, oh, why didn't I give my money to Mike Boogie? because for those of you checking your dial right now for the Reality Central Network, it never came to be. Despite all these lofty goals and promises. So meanwhile, Mike Boogie, as I said, running Los Angeles. So yeah, it wasn't like, $300,000 didn't hurt anything, but him and Dr. Will went to have fun, and you were in that fun with them. I mean, like, you weren't Chilltown, but at the same time, like, it wasn't venomous back then. Like, it was fun. There was good guys, there were bad guys, but it was still a family.
That is and you want to know what you just said about that? That is true to this day. How when we do get together, how we all still have that where there's really no animosity between any of us. It was something that we did in our lives, and it was something that we kind of enjoyed quite a bit. Okay. Yes. I was honored to be part of the Big Brother All-Star clan. Yes. Yes. I was surprised I even got picked.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I am curious. How did that phone call go? Were you just like, no, this is Chicken George?
Yeah.
I don't know who did your filing, but no, this is Chicken George. I don't know. Like, I don't know whose name is before or after mine.
I didn't spend the $16 this time. It wasn't me.
They made a decision for season 7 that they didn't really make with 22, which was looking and saying, yes, we need the big players, we need the big strategists, but we also need to make sure that somebody has some fun in there.
Yeah. We need a belly flopper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, here you go. Well, also what you have to understand was, okay, CBS did their own casting back there. The producers, Douglas Ross and all them of Evolution Film and Tape, they did their own casting back then. They did not have Robin cast. She did not do that. So see, I was like the redhead stepchild going in the Big Brother All-Stars. Because see, I was not cast by that company. I was Big Brother 2. Evolution Film Tape did not do Big Brother number 2. That's when Arnold Shapiro come in. Okay, so we were kind of like put on a shelf somewhere. Okay, and I think I was a token person to be put in because I represented season number 1. And that's probably the only reason why I got in. Okay. So I was surprised when Julie says, they waited till the end. I was the last person called to go in the house. I was really surprised I was even chosen. Okay. Because I had nothing to do with that production company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
we were all lucky, much like we were lucky that David was put in there this season as a token first boot. Yeah. Chicken George, watching this season, I have to ask you. Yeah, I was trying to decide like who is playing the most Chicken George game. No one's having the fun. We've established that, but do you identify more with David or Enzo? Because I see elements of your game in both David and Enzo. Or who's playing like Chicken George?
Okay. I would have to say, okay, I sympathize with David. Okay. Because on All-Stars, every one of them had an alliance outside the house that they were going to bring in. Okay. David wasn't in there long enough to make a connection. Okay. So I know what it was like to go in there without anybody that you could trust or that you could work with. Okay. That's why, no matter what you say about him, I was glad the kid made it as far as he did.
Yeah.
Because he could have been kicked to the curb because he didn't have anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's that like. You look at how many alliances are in that house right now. Okay. That were made outside before they even come in there. Okay. Kaser, Janelle, come on. They were like that, Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I was impressed with the kid that he made it that far. I really was. was a little dicey there for a while, but he did okay. Yeah, he made it to jury. Yeah,
That's pretty strong.
I don't know how much extra they got this time for going in the jury house.
I think like 40.
You had to make it to the jury house, and then you got extra money.
Yeah, what was it like? Would they say 45 for showing up, and then another 25? Is that the rumor and innuendo?
Ballpark. That's about what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much was that again?
So that's
45.
70. So that's
45 and
70
25.
if you make jury.
Yeah, so like 70
grand.
Yeah.
Ooh, they should have called me.
You are available.
The series would have been the season would have been so much better if they had. And we were hoping that David was going to kind of turn into the Chicken George character, but it didn't really happen.
No one had. As I said, it was a job. We saw people going to work, and like I'm one of those people that I watch. Like I have a job, and so I watch reality TV to see people not going to work because I go to work. And thanks, Big Brother.
Well, Johnny, this season you watched people who don't normally go to work and go to work at reality TV instead.
So. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't like it.
That was good.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That was not what I was looking for.
Zach, I am sure that being an Instagram influencer is much harder than it looks.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta post at 10 a.m. That's it.
I'm gonna go back to bed.
Yeah, there's you have to use certain filters, I guess. But yeah, you have to post at 10 a.m. is the crux of it.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Well, I guess there's time zones. You know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So there is math involved.
Yeah, George might have to post at 9 a.m.
Yes.
You know what's worse.
So you one time have to do a math equation. Yes, you got it.
Once you figure that out, smooth sailing. Smooth sailing. All right.
But yeah, this season has been not very entertaining. I will agree with you on that. I think the ratings have also suffered quite a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The ratings aren't what they used to be. Or could it be maybe the show's just getting old?
Well, we've been discussing throughout the weeks what can be done to fix Big Brother. So because it appears to be somewhat broken, and we've had ideas from
absolutely.
From starting with two houses to going back to the groupings like they did, bringing in the coaches, on the Canadian version, Big Brother is actually a character and Big Brother is working his way, to manipulate the game, to break up stuff, having, what was Peter's idea about the competitions for slop.
Yeah, like bringing back some of the like luxury competitions, the the food competitions for have-nots. I mean, we did see maybe the worst luxury competition in the history of Big Brother this week, though.
I didn't understand it. Yeah, I was like, what are they doing here?
They weren't doing anything.
All that.
They weren't doing it well. For someone who on November 10th has an Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5 coming, I can tell you that looked like the worst video game I've ever seen. But I mean, I think, I mean, I may be wrong, but let's say I'm playing that game, right? And you have the four remaining house guests playing this competition, this luxury competition. Okay. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't really be fair to have one of their comic characters win, because that's kind of being production, even though it's random, production thinks that the Califury is better than Mrs. Claus. So I think out of the gate, you subtract those four characters as people you would choose in your grouping.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because everybody picked themselves, I think, in the first round, except
Nic-
Nicole.
Nicole picked Janelle, but then picked herself second because no one else was picking Nicole.
Right. No, but maybe she had the same thought that she was like, let's pick people who might be good in competitions. Maybe she didn't know. Because what this reminds me of, are you guys familiar with Brant Steele?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this kind of reminded me of a Brant Steele where basically you program in either a real cast or a fantasy cast, and you could do this for Survivor. And I think now you can also do it for Big Brother, or they're working on Big Brother. So it feels like this is what this was that they took these 16 comics and they put them in, and it's basically a random number generator.
Yeah.
Right. That determines who wins each pairing. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
But okay, but let's say they did that, okay? And behind the scenes, let's say they did that and Cody won. I think they're doing it again to where one of those 4 playing doesn't win. I just think it's kind of obnoxious of the 4 people there that one of the, I mean, because it's just like, oh man, like this. I mean, it's so deflating to the other people versus have someone that's not there. They're in the jury house or where it's just like, okay, we're all cool with this.
You know what? I have to tell you, I hated it because watching Kaser and Janelle lose again, I was like, really, Big Brother? I've already watched them get evicted. Now I have to watch them lose to some stupid video game. I've had enough. Get out of here.
Yeah, and how telling was it from the remaining house guests that were playing this luxury competition that Kaser was the last pick?
Yeah,
I'm like, it's fucking King Kaser. Like, put some respect on it. Put some respect on that name.
Oh my gosh.
I felt sorry for that guy. He's never made it to the jury yet, man. Out of all them times. He's never made it to jury.
Well,
are you surprised to see him playing again, George?
Yeah. Were you surprised to see him? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Here's what I thought. We were all stars once, not twice. Okay.
Yeah.
We did it once. Let the other people, give them their chance. That's kind of the way I looked at it. Okay. We did all stars. Kaser and Janelle. We've already done that. Give somebody else a shot at it. And that's kind of the way I felt about it. Because if they would ask me, but now it all depends on finding out how much money was involved.
Yeah, 70 genies changes everything.
That would have been maybe you'd have been saying it a different story. But yes, I said there's a lot of really good players out there that also are very entertaining, and I thought maybe it was time for let somebody else take up them 2 spots. Just my opinion.
Well, I can't imagine if Survivor were to do All-Star 2 that you would see anyone from the first All-Stars. I think you would see players from, season 1 all the way up, but you would just see different people. I mean, instead, maybe a Vesepia, maybe a Brian Heidick, I think they would go back in the talent pool. And of course, they typically skew newer seasons anyway. So there's been, many seasons since then. But I think they would go old school. But I don't think going old school, they would grab anyone that from seasons 1 through 7 that played on season 8 of Survivor. I just don't see it. I mean, on Survivor, there's now been 500 people that have played Survivor. Big Brother.
Gosh.
Yeah. Well, Big Brother, we're pretty darn close. I mean, we're probably 250. You can't pick 16 people that have never played that didn't play the first All-Stars. Yeah. And for the record, very happy seeing Janelle there. Very happy seeing Kaser there. Not upset that they were there. However, rumor and innuendo, in lieu of a potential celebrity season, they might be doing a legend season, the condensed schedule, the 28 days or whatever. Save Janelle and Kaser for something like that. Like, that's fine. Like, you could, you add All-Star 1, All-Star 2 doesn't include them. Legends does.
You know what? I actually think Legends should include Janelle. I would be okay with Kaser coming back on his own for All Stars 2 because he's never made the jury. And I think you could like lend some validity to All Stars 2 of like, we've touched on all these old school seasons. We're even giving credence back to All Star 1. Like we're kind of rounding the bases of Big Brother history. But yeah, I agree. Like a legendary figure like Janelle being in there against all of these new school creeps, like she didn't stand a chance.
Yeah. Well, but if we are doing Legends, might not be quite as much money because it's a shorter season, but I see a legend sitting right there.
I do too.
He can't comment on that. He can't.
Yeah, and by the way, George, the other thing that after the podcast, you're gonna give me your entire skin can routine because it's been 15 years and you literally have not aged a day, and I'm jealous.
Hey, I've gotten fat though.
Zach, take us to a quick commercial on that note, and we'll be right back. We're gonna talk what happened tonight, what's happened this week, and who Chicken George thinks is gonna win.
You know what? This commercial is very appropriate.
Oh.
This episode is brought to you by Magic Spoon. And let me tell you, I'm about to turn 30 years old. It's about that time I start cutting down on carbs, sugar, unhealthy food. I realized I basically can't eat anything anymore. That's where Magic Spoon comes in. Tell them about it, Johnny.
Oh man, 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein. That's right, 11 grams of protein and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. What am I talking about? Magic Spoon. 4 delicious flavors previously: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. What was my favorite? It was the frosted. But boom! What am I looking at right now? This is the greatest week of my life. I'm looking at brand new peanut butter Magic Spoon and honey nut. Oh man, tomorrow I'm having both. I am so excited. I'm breaking all the rules. You heard me correct. 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein, only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free, and taste amazing. The most important part, honestly, too good to be true. You can join me. Be like just me. Try those new flavors as well. Where do they go, Zach?
Go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in this product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked, but you're going to like it. That's magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR for free shipping. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast.
Any fool can climb a wall or crawl through sand, but as every fan knows, Survivor challenges are won or lost at the puzzle. The most successful players are puzzle masters, and you can be one too. Fair play. Perplexers Puzzles creates handmade miniature replicas of many of Survivor's greatest and most challenging puzzles. Find out if you have what it takes by visiting the Perplexers Puzzle store on Etsy or simply visiting survivorpuzzle.com. Enter promo code FAIRPLAY, FAIRPLAY, at checkout for a 10% discount. And let me tell you, I'm hanging out on my patio on these beautiful summer nights. I have Zach Hacker coming over to my house, and we did the fire puzzle, the season 40 puzzle. I got the tree puzzle, and Zach was like, dude, these things are fucking awesome. So if you are a fan of Survivor, as Zach is, and I know he has a true, authentic Survivor puzzle that I have personally done, these Perplexers puzzles are the real deal. So go to survivorpuzzle.com right now, enter promo code FAIRPLAY at checkout for a 10% discount, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
Hey, talking Magic Spoon real quick. I got the new apple cinnamon today.
You took the tip oil off.
It's
You know what, George? It was getting hot, man. I don't know how you wore that for a whole eviction.
Yeah. So
my face is getting red.
So guys,
that's why they put turkeys in it.
Guys, try the Magic Spoon apple cinnamon. Tastes like Apple Jacks. Oh my God, my life has changed forever. I am free.
I gotta order some. That sounds good.
So, Chicken George, I would be. We are going to talk. We are going to talk this season, but I've got to hear the lightning stories. You have not only been struck by lightning once, you've been struck by lightning, what, twice?
No, just one time.
Okay,
That's
just
all
one.
you
Okay,
need.
just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one.
Okay. So tell us the story.
Yeah. I grew up at a farm. I still has a farm. Storm rolls in. Boom! You hear this giant crack. I wake up. I'm laying on the floor. Teresa comes out. That's my wife. Takes me to the hospital. Okay. It actually went through my arms and went out my legs. There was like burn holes in my legs. Okay. So the doctor goes, yeah, you might have some side effects, man. You could be sterile, all this other stuff. Well, I proved him wrong 3 times later, But,
how do I get struck by lightning?
But the ironic part was, you went down and it burned a hole in my legs, right through my knees. You can see where it goes out, and then it goes out your knees. Yeah, but I was okay. But you want to know what? It was summertime. Keep it summertime, and I was outside all the time, and I had this massive, beautiful tan. Okay, I was completely white. I mean, it took everything. I was like, whoa, dude! Now I got to get more suntan. But yeah, I was completely white. It did.
Wow, after days later, you were still really white.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So you were tan, and you're saying, and then
Yeah.
after you were struck by lightning, you were white
Wow.
again. You went to tan again.
Yeah, it completely took all the color away from me. Yeah,
Wow.
I had no color left in me. Yeah, honestly, it took a while to get back to okay.
Wow. I had a friend I was confusing you with my friend Mulkey, and I had a friend named Mulkey in junior high and high school, and he was watching television in junior high, and lightning struck his television, went through the TV, hit him, knocked him over his lazy boy for a flip over his lazy boy, and struck it, and it's just like Mulkey, and he was just like, yeah, I was struck by lightning. Fast forward 2 years later, we're going to a Steve Miller concert, and I'm driving my I had like a baby shit brown Mercedes 300D diesel car, and
a clown car.
My mom had gone to Kroger and bought us a case of Natural Light because we're in high school, of course, and so
Okay.
we're going to Raleigh, which is an hour away. The forecast was fine, but where we were in Danville, Virginia, it was a thunderstorm, and so I'm in the front seat driving. My buddy Snooze in the passenger seat, and Mulkey goes to get in the back seat, and there's the case of beer, and we're like, hey, put the case of beer in the trunk. That's a safer, we're 18. We don't need to have a case of beer in the car with us. We'll drink it once we get to the concert. And so, it's pouring down rain. Mulkey's like, it's fine. It's like, no, just put it in the trunk. Mulkey takes the case of beer out, puts it in the trunk, closes the trunk. Lightning strikes my trunk and knocks Mulkey back. And of course, I am Johnny Fairplay. There's a black hole where a heart should be. I'm like, get in the fucking car. We got to get to the concert. It's Steve Miller, man. Steve Miller's going to be on time. He's not Axl Rose. He's not showing up at midnight.
Oh. Man, how pale is Mulkey? Getting hit by lightning twice is freaking translucent. All right.
There you go.
Was he okay?
He's fine. Well, he's named Mulkey for a reason. It's not a compliment.
That's a good one. Yeah,
I try. All right, so this season. All right, so tonight's episode, it is what's Cody gonna do? He won the POV in the hamster wheel competition. It seemed like that was set up for either Cody or Christmas to win potentially. Just the physicality. I'm amazed. Do you guys sit in the house and go over numbers and days, talking with one another? Because like I'm sitting there, like, you know, I've been forced by way of the podcast. I've watched every episode, and they're just like, on what day was so? I'm like, who the fuck would ever know that? Like, do you guys discuss that, or are you, or do you? Is it just, you know, no, there's nothing else to do? I remember, like, you know, because like on Survivor, I think it's a little different on Survivor because we're so malnourished, our brains leave us a little more. You guys actually have food to you know, keep the brain activity going a little more. But like, you don't know what fucking date, like, you know, if it wasn't for, you know, using a machete and etching it in a fucking tree, you wouldn't know what fucking day it was. But I guess, you know, there's probably people taking notes or whatever, but do you remember any cross conversation of, you know, hey, remember day 35 was this, or no?
You can't, but I don't think they can take notes, right? They don't have access to pens and paper.
No, okay.
So they have to just remember all of it as they go along, right?
Yeah.
Just every day, like,
Correct.
okay, what happened today?
Yeah.
But also you can like lay out maybe spoons, forks, or whatever. Okay, this is day number 1, you know, or go outside and lay out rocks or whatever have you. But honestly, I never did any of that stuff. Well, maybe that's why I lost too.
But you had the extra underwear. You could only count to 2.
I can tell you what happened on day 2. If there's 11 questions about day 2, I'm set. I don't know if I can turn that hamster wheel as fast as Cody for 2.
No, I never did none of that stuff. Never. You know,
but do you remember?
Like,
do you remember other people having conversations like that, or no? Like, would you have just been
yes,
like?
I remember some of them would stare at the memory wall.
Yeah.
Okay, that memory wall, and they would like count, and I would just walk by and, well, I hope they don't ask me any questions about this because I don't know any of it. You know, I took it very nonchalantly. Okay, like, well, okay, and maybe I'd be $500,000 million richer if I did, but it's all fine in my case. Okay,
I think you.
No, I never did any of that stuff.
I would have given you a bonus just for keeping the like that fun versus, you know, studying, watching people study for, you know, 90 days is much better.
You need a balance.
Hey, I gotta tell you, I watched them the other day. They were good at the days. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I never
Amazing.
would have remembered all that.
Yeah, Cody and Nicole know their days.
You know, on day number, day number 75, I trimmed my eyebrows or something else like that. You know, I was like, wow, they're really good at this. I was impressed with that. I have to tell you.
And Cody does a very good job of playing dumb, but I think it, you know, is kind of revealed on a competition like that he's not dumb, because, you know,
oh no,
like the light bulb for me early in the season when they were talking about potentially getting rid of Ian earlier rather than later, you know, Cody's sitting there in the HOH room with someone. He's just like, you know, Ian won seven vetoes. Like, I mean, like, Cody's throwing out stats that a dumb person doesn't know. And I'm just like, okay, this is a fucking act. And he's very good at it.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
So, and then to see this hamster challenge where you're sitting there, it's just like, well, Cody's pretty and he's athletic, but, well, I mean, his fucking horrific nose. Let's not forget that. Minus his horrific nose.
Dude, that dude's got some abs, man. I was like, check out this guy's abs. Whoa.
Yeah. Well,
he also figured out very quickly how to turn that wheel, you know, so that it doesn't keep going past where you, because Nicole's strategy seemed to be to just yell at it. Like, don't go too far, don't go too far. That does not work.
Yeah.
It was worth a try.
So,
I mean,
and I think Christmas's athleticism kind of worked against her because she kept going.
She kept
over.
overshooting it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, which
good point.
I was into.
Literally when I watched that, I was like, Johnny Fairplay's going to comment on Christmas in this challenge.
I very much admire Christmas's athleticism so much. Her sports and her athleticism.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the whole episode,
You know
Julie's
who I
trying
felt
to.
bad-
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, George. Sorry.
You know who I felt bad for though? A little girl named Nicole. You know, that got thrown off. Was she first one? Was
Second.
she out
I think
number one?
Keisha was first. Wasn't Nicole second?
Yeah, Keisha and Nicole.
Yeah, Keisha. And I was like, you know what? This little girl's really trying and everything else like that. And she gets rocketed right away. And
Yeah.
I always looked at it like this. You don't want to be first or second off the show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You want to, if you go out in the middle, that's cool. But, you know, to go right in the beginning, oh, that is so hard. You know, because you really don't get it. You don't get a feel for what's really going on until you start getting deeper. And if you watch Big Brother, as you notice as time goes on, you notice how people start to break down because it starts to really wear on them. Because
We really saw that with Christmas this week.
Same people.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you follow the pattern, and it's like, because you run out of things to talk. How much can you talk to these people about?
Well, Christmas will talk
outside
to you about talent
communication with
shows in
anybody.
eighth. Christmas taught you about talent shows in 8th grade all day long.
George, what
You got
did you do
Enzo
for
talking to a cow.
what did you do for talent shows in middle school and high school, George?
Yeah. Were you in a talent show in 8th grade, George?
Nah, never did any of that stuff, man.
Oh, my follow up, which I think is a brilliant follow up, is so did you do them in high school? Perhaps.
No,
You didn't do
no,
talent shows in
never
8th
did
grade.
none of it, man. No, never did none of
them
it.
in high school.
No, I had to go to work, man. That was all. That was my life. Okay, you have no money. What are you gonna do? You got to get a job. You got to go to work. But yeah, no, I never. Yeah, and that's what really surprised me why they even picked me. Okay, it was like, no, I was always cool being behind the scenes guy and everything else like that. But all good in my case.
Yeah. All right. So tonight's episode was mainly focused on who's Cody choosing to go to the final 3. So Enzo's there, still waiting on that big move. We hear from Davon. We hear from Davon at the jury house, which was I was actually kind of surprised and kind of relieved. I like it. I've met Enzo. I like Enzo. He's a good dude. Have you met Enzo, George? He's a good dude. Do you like him?
Didn't catch that one. No, I have not met him.
Okay. Hey, super nice guy.
From what he comes across on television, he's all good.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah. And so we hear Davon, and Davon's just like, look, Enzo's my man. Like I'm still Team Enzo. However, I cannot give you that $500,000 vote without doing anything. And I felt like he had lost the majority of the jury, but like I kind of felt that the jury's still kind of open based on tonight's conversation, and could be purely editing, but I felt as though they were just like, you know what, this has been a paint by numbers season. There was the majority alliance that had all the power the entire time, and that is what it is. However, we are ready to award this to who makes the big kill move at the end.
Well,
And they're ready to reward that person.
I think Enzo's big move is going to be coming in third. I'd love to be wrong, but that's what I think is going to happen.
Prophet Christmas.
I agree.
Davon also said Nicole plays an ass end game, which I really liked for a description of someone plays an ass end game.
I'm a big fan of playing ass end games around 1 a.m. Zach.
Yeah.
But I would think you'd want to see Christmas's version of that rather than Nicole's. But
either.
You're not picky.
Yeah. I mean, it was good to see validated what we've been saying for a couple weeks, I think, which is this is Cody's game to lose, and whoever clips him gets the win. and they all seem to articulate that clearly. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more. You're absolutely right.
Would you weigh a little more heavy on Nicole being a previous winner, making it to the end, and potentially crowning the first 2-time winner of Big Brother on an All-Star season, or do you not care about anything like that? Or are you just like, no, I'm taking on it. Yeah. So, because I don't think like on Survivor Heroes Villains, I don't think anyone was sitting there going, ooh, we have the opportunity to make Sandra Diaz-Twine the first 2-time winner ever. I don't think that went through anyone's head.
Really?
I don't think so. I think they're sitting there going, how the fuck did Sandra get here? Kudos to her. I'll give her my vote. But no, like I don't think anyone's just like, wow, we have the chance to declare the first 2-time winner ever. And my choice is Sandra Diaz-Twine. No.
I think the only time it would be different is if it's like a really elite dominant winner. Like say Dr. Will gets to the end in All Stars. I think then you're saying, holy shit, he did it again. Like, this dude's incredible. He's a 2-time winner. Done. But when you're talking about these other winners who kind of just sneak by to the end, like a Sandra or Nicole player, yeah, you're right. I think they're thinking about this season, not that season.
Yeah.
You're right. I agree with you on that case. Yes, absolutely. What you just said about it's Cody's game to lose, got it right on the head. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's playing an amazing game.
Jurors are talking. Yeah. They're talking. Okay.
Well, I think Danny's doing a lot of campaigning, and I think there is some hurt feelings. It happens every season, every genre. Like whether it be Survivor, whether it be Big Brother. People want to win the game, and when they don't, they're going to blame the person that's responsible for them not winning the game. That the term bitter jury was created for a reason. Like, there's only one winner and the other people are not winners. And you look around, you're just like, I'm not a winner because of this person. So, and some people can reward that. And some people, can use that against you.
But we all seem to think that, Cody is probably going to get the win, which means that I'm sure some of those people are most of them are going to be butthurt, but they're going to move past it because he really did play an incredibly dominant game.
Yeah. Okay. So Chicken George, tonight's move, Cody chose to send home or send to the jury house rather Christmas. Was that the right move?
No. He should have probably taken Nicole, sent her.
Yeah,
because I don't think people would have voted. They're not going to vote Christmas to win.
I don't think anyone gives it to Christmas. Like I think I think in the pecking order of who could win is Cody, Nicole, Enzo, Christmas.
And a good indicator is when Christmas says to Julie, "Oh, I had an argument for all of them." If you're that delusional, you don't actually have an argument for any of them.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like there, her delusions of grandeur and
she was going to come out like Coach Wade on Survivor, and she was going to alienate everybody and piss everybody off with the jury. That was not going to be a good look.
Yeah, she was Angelina on David versus Goliath, who I love. And truth be told, I think I love Christmas.
And I was going to say also, she did not give up. I mean, this is what we want to see.
Yeah, I love her heart. She won me over with her heart.
Good point.
So, but her delusion is insane. And the fact that she owned nothing in that conversation with Julie is just like, oh my God, like as bad as you could ever envision Christmas versus anyone in the final two, it was that much worse.
Yeah. Although she did correct Julie when Julie got the years wrong. I loved that. When Julie said you played 2 years ago, and she goes, 3.
Well, this kind of reminds me, if you think about it, when Mike Boogie won All-Stars up against Erica. Okay. Boogie and Dr. Will, they controlled that game.
Yeah.
When it come right down to it, they did. They controlled that. And Erica really didn't do a lot. And in the end, all the votes were. Whether or not you liked him or you didn't like him, all the votes went that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he played the Chilltown played a good game. Yep.
Yeah. And not only did they control the game, they controlled a fun game for the viewers to watch.
Correct.
So it wasn't like, they're like what we saw. Yes, we saw Memphis and Cody for the most part controlling this entire season, but they didn't control it to make us enjoy it. They controlled it to win the game. Like, hey, and that's why you're really out there. I mean, like, CBS is making a show called Survivor or Big Brother, and they're trying to make a television show. They don't give a fuck who wins $1 million. They don't give a fuck who wins $500,000. They're making a television show. They would prefer that show be great and entertaining. And when you are great and entertaining, sometimes production is more your friends than not your friends. However, there's many players that don't go on to make good television. I'm not one of them. But they are out there just to win $1 million or $500,000 because that's what they came to do.
True.
Kudos to them for being selfish and not entertaining us.
Yeah, because I mean, looking back, assuming, and we're all at this point, assuming that Cody is going to win, right? On the one hand, and I've been saying all season, he's boring white guy, but he played a really masterful game. So on the one hand, can't take it away from him. You'd be perfectly happy with him as the winner. On the other hand, that's a couple hundred hours at least that I'm never going to have to get back.
Yeah,
right.
Good point.
Well, he was drawing parallels to BB16 and saying he's the Derek this time, Enzo's the Victoria, and he's got to make the tough choice either to bring the Cody and Nicole or the Enzo and the Victoria. And I was reminded, oh yeah, I hated BB16 because I don't like Derek. And this is exactly the same thing. Like there's one guy steamrolled the whole season and I don't like him. So that's why I feel this way. Got it.
But on the other hand, he watched that game and he copied it very, very, because with both Cody and Memphis, a lot of us were very skeptical as to, whether they really learned anything. And with Memphis, I'm not so sure he did. But Cody certainly studied that game and he knows exactly what he did wrong.
Yeah. I respect it. Hey, Memphis learned one thing, which is how to dress well, because he looked really dapper when he arrived at the jury house. And I've been seeing him wear a cutoff denim shirt all season, and he looked really good. So he learned a lot.
He did.
That's good. I like that one.
Chicken George, did he borrow that cutoff sleeve denim shirt from you? That's
Yeah, he did. I want it back too. I can sell it on eBay.
We'll get it your direction. All right, Chicken George. Who do you think wins HOH, and who do you think wins this game?
Pretty simple. Got to agree with everybody there. I'm in Cody all the way.
Yeah,
he's turning it on in the end. Maybe he laid back a little bit in the beginning, or what? Well, not really. But he's hands down the winner. And I know what goes on in the jury houses. They're all talking between one another. Well, he did this to me. He did that to me. And they're like, oh, yeah, he did, didn't he? And that's why I'm maybe sitting here, And it goes back to what you guys just said. You get to thinking about it like, okay, he did all these moves. He got us all out of here. Guy deserves to win the game by far. Yep.
If Nicole or Enzo wins HOH, do you think they're both crazy enough to take Cody to the final two?
Nicole's a lot smarter. No, she won't.
I don't think Nicole will. I think Nicole cuts his nuts, but I think Enzo actually takes him to the final two.
Enzo could be sitting in chair number 2.
Yeah.
I'm not as convinced as you are that Nicole won't take Cody.
You think she would?
I think she very well could. I mean,
so you think she'll take Cody?
I'm not sure, but I'm saying she shouldn't, obviously. But I think there's a decent chance she will.
What role do you think Victor saying he's proud of her finally will play in that decision?
Well, the question is what I'm proud of you was code for, right?
I
Because he
know.
didn't say it before, but he said it now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that code was like, what you're doing is perfect, stay on track, and that she's might take him now. I was like, Victor, don't say that. No, I want her to cut him. Like,
Good point.
I would love it if she
deep, but now you got a point.
But I don't think I'm not convinced it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, that letter was definitely code, and tonight's message was definitely code. I mean, they're smart enough to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I mean, that's an outside. I mean, think about, if Survivor were Big Brother, Johnny Fairplay and Thunder D would be doing the exact same thing. Like, like Thunder D's entire speech would be like, the Ultimate Warrior beat Jake the Snake, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, Rupert's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I really respect it. I'm also just wondering whether something got crossed.
Hey, Johnny, you ever see anything from Rupert?
I did. Actually, me and Zach, we did a softball tournament with Rupert last September.
Okay, so you still got that alligator?
I don't know about that.
I didn't hear about an alligator. No,
he had a vape pen.
That is all I can think of now when I think of Rupert is hitting a vape pen.
I'm just trying to imagine.
Hey, it's better for you, but oh man, that killed some childhood images for me.
Him and his tie-dye t-shirts, man. What good marketing, though,
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I was so like back in the day, it was so crazy because like Los Angeles was the hub and even people that didn't live in Los Angeles, they would make it out for certain events or whatever. And always seeing Chicken George just put a smile on my face because like Chicken George spending $16 to go to Chicago for a deep dish pizza is the same Chicken George is just like, hey, there's a fundraiser or whatever. Like I'm there and whatever is it like, oh, LA is hot chicks and booze. I have eyes and I have a throat.
But I just want to say Big Brother has been really, it's been good for me.
Yeah.
And I really do mean that. It opened up a door, maybe just a little bit, but what you do with it from then on, that's up to you. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the show. And I completely understand that. Okay. Sometimes people get off when they think they're going to be movie stars or whatever have you. That's not the case. You're just going to go and live a normal life. But in my cases, I was actually able to move on with it. So I'm forever grateful for the company, for what they did for me, for choosing me. Who knows what I'd be doing today, but I'm very grateful for them. Yes.
Yeah, well, people in the live chat are so stoked to hear from you, and we are so glad to have you here, Chicken George. So
my honor.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Sean O'Brien writes, I loved you, Chicken George. You were so underrated in All Stars. I thought you were an amazing social player, and I think you would get far in most seasons.
Thank you.
Agree. I mean, who doesn't love Chicken George? I mean, I remember every reality event that I was at with Chicken George. It's just like, there's Chicken George. Like he's getting hugged by 12 people at once.
It's fine. It's all good, guys.
Yeah. No one was hugging me, Chicken George. Other than you. No one was hugging me.
Oh, it's all good.
So awesome. Well, Chicken George, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my honor.
Well, stop it. This was the highlight of Big Brother All-Star 2. You being on this podcast. So
Johnny, where's my check coming?
The check is in the mail.
I should have died myself during the commercial break. Down.
I only had 4 digits of your zip code. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem.
It's all good, everybody. I don't need anything. It was my pleasure to be with you guys. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Chicken George, you rock. And Zach, take us out of here. 2020 has been the year of things happening that are completely out of your control. But there is one thing that you can control, and that's shaving your bush. Our sponsors at Manscaped are here to remind you to do so. Well, see, my big thing with shaving my balls is, people are like, Johnny Fairplay, how do you get laid? How do you get some action down there? And we're talking, there's 3 major things that can happen to down there. I don't know how to make that happen for you, but I do know what will help make that happen, and that's shaving your balls and cleaning up your butthole.
And what'll help is the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. It's a premium electric trimmer that's designed to give you a confident boost through body image. Their ceramic blade and skin-safe technology are designed to reduce nicks or tugs on your fellas down there. The Lawnmower 3.0 is also waterproof, and it comes with an LED light so you can manscape in the shower, in the dark, in a dark shower if you want, whatever floats your boat. They also just released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, which is a perfect add-on to the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. Johnny, can you tell us about Shears 2.0?
Man, it is a luxury 4-piece nail kit. Just used it earlier today. And shaved my balls earlier today. Quite the day for me. I might take a nap now. It features tempered stainless steel tools, and it includes tipped tweezers, rounded point scissors, fingernail clippers, and a medium grit nail file. Now, real quick on these fingernail clippers, they might be the most cutting edge, amazing nail clippers I've ever used in my entire life. The Shears 2.0 nail kit also allows you to pluck your eyebrows and trim your nails in style. On their website, you'll also find the Crop Preserver, and that's an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. This will help tame that summer swamp ass with natural hydrators and antioxidants.
You'll also find a Crop Reviver. That's a testy toner that's like having cologne that's designed for your balls. We won't judge you if we catch you sniffing yourself. Go to manscaped.com and check out some of these life-changing products.
If I could sniff myself like that, I wouldn't be shaving my balls. I wouldn't need to.
Take a rib out.
There you have it. Get the Manscaped Rib Remover Kit. It's go to manscaped.com and check out these life-changing products. In fact, listeners of the show will get 20% off and free shipping with promo code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com.
That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use promo code SURVIVOR. It's time to grab 2020 by the horns by shaving that front trunk.